Okay, I'll call the meeting of February 7th Conservation Commission to order. And first order of business is approving the minutes for January 17th. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Carol second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We don't have any new public hearings tonight. We do have continued public hearings. One Component Park. Looks like a motion to continue. Is that right, Tim?
Yes. Component Park, we actually have a site meeting tomorrow
Okay.
with the engineers.
Any date that we're going to motion to continue to?
The next meeting, so it would be
The 21st?
21st?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so for One Component Park, I'll entertain a motion to continue until February 21st.
I'll make that motion.
Anyone?
Carol
Yeah.
second.
Carol seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. We've got 35 United Drive tonight. Are we
Hold
getting
on
anyone
one
to do
second,
any?
and I think.
Anyone coming in?
Let me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaker-wise.
Yeah.
Carol, can you hear us? Okay, we're having trouble hearing you, so hold on.
Sure.
I don't know if it connected to your speaker.
Yeah, we got the tech here.
Your, Steve, Tim, your speaker down at the bottom right is
Yep,
off.
yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
I hear people there.
I think it did I think it's on.
Well, I'm trying to get the other one connected, and it doesn't.
Yeah, but I think it is. I think that's what we're hearing. Coming out of your computer.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Right.
Do you want to
All
open
right.
up 35 United
Yep.
Drive?
We're going to come back to 35 United Drive. We've got a notice of intent and a general stormwater management permit. Do we have someone?
Adam is
Yeah,
here.
Adam?
I'm here. Adam Hunt with Level Design Group on behalf of Ajax United Drive. The project is for the construction of additional pavement for an existing warehouse and office. We last met, that came before the board in December. Since we've made some revisions, smaller revisions based on additional comments. We got, if I can just share my screen.
Yep, you should be all set.
Okay, thank you. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Is that showing up right? Okay. Monitors are being. Let me get to the right plans. So we revised the snow storage areas to be off, actually in the pavement. So we reserved those spaces to use for snow storage in the back instead of off where it would drain to the wetland. So it's all designated to drain into the drainage system. So that was one of the big change for the layout materials. That and just adding a few notes about the snow storage.
That was the big carry forward, was the snow storage, yeah. All right, Jim, you have any additional?
The 53G report came back, everything was met that they recommended. One of the recommendations I had was to put the signage like we've required for no dumping of snow over the fences. Market Basket had that, and it seemed to work well. So that'll be worked into part of the order of conditions. They've met all the other requirements. By moving the snow back into the pavement, it will get treated now instead of just melting and going in to the wetland. The entire area's got chain link fence around it, so debris moving into the wetland shouldn't be a problem.
Good, good. Commissioners, any questions?
I don't have any.
All right, Steve, you're all set? All right, hearing none. I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, I'll entertain a motion to issue the standard order of conditions.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. I'll entertain a motion to issue a waiver for work in the 50-foot no-touch zone.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. And lastly, I'm sorry. And lastly, I'll entertain a motion to issue the general stormwater permit.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. All right, Adam.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
We got one done.
One done. Are you in on 38 United?
We are requesting a continuance for 38 and 40 United.
Okay.
We have not received any additional comment or any comments on the changes we've made to 38.
Do we have any date that we're going to continue to, or just continue?
Well, we're hoping to get some idea on when to expect comments. Otherwise, we really, it's kind of.
So the 38 will go to the 21st, and 40, do you want to go to the 21st of February as well, or further out on that one?
We'll put them both for the same, for
Okay.
the 21st for now, I think, and we'll just.
Okay.
We'll push it out if we don't expect to be ready for 40.
All right. So I'll entertain a motion to continue 38 United and 40 United to February 21st.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. All right. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
We're down to administrative areas. Tim, 586 Manley, anything new there?
No news at this point, so I'd recommend continuing that one till the 21st.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to continue 586 Manley to February 21st.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. So moved. And we have an overview of the open space plan. Tim?
I did send out kind of late today, so I'm sure everybody hasn't digested it.
It's
but
huge.
The Open Space Committee has had two documents that, one was a Word document and one was an Excel. And
Right.
they wanted to try to get them merged and put in a format so they could sort and decipher all the information.
It's a lot there.
That's now been done. Our next process is going to be assigning who's responsible for different goals and features of that actual form. A lot of them, you'll see when you look at it, have already been assigned to the Conservation Commission.
Yeah.
Those were, the old plan had it that way, and Old Colony Planning Council had recommended those. A lot of the ones that aren't assigned, we need to take a look at and kind of figure out where they go. I have a feeling a lot of those are gonna land under the Conservation Commission, or part of it is a code kind of
A
thing.
quick
So-
scan looked like a ton of stuff to do.
And again, these are just, it's a long-range plan.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and if you can knock off 2 or 3 of those between now and the next plan,
Yeah.
then you're meeting some of your goals. And
Sure.
some of those, if you look at the older plans, past years,
Yeah.
we have done. I mean, the CNC Reading Farm,
Yes.
the golf course,
Right.
the
right.
Anderson parcel, the Howard parcel, some of those APR land, that being done. The actual 110 acres off of Scotland Street was another on the goal list, so
Right.
we've
right.
hit some of them.
Is that all part of the planning, the new planning?
Part of this
Remember we
going
have-
forward is the master plan
Yeah.
and the open space plan, trying to get those to merge together
Yep,
so that you can actually use both documents to
right,
get this planning done.
yep,
But looking at the open space plan, just keep in our mind that a lot of that we have a part of, and we just need to be thinking of it. Not that it's in the forefront all the time, but
No.
it's something that,
Well, I noticed like a sign on the other end of Beaverton Woods is something needs to be done, and, you know.
right, getting more signage,
Here
putting
and
trail
there,
maps
yeah.
together. I am meeting this Thursday night with the Open Space Committee,
Are you?
and
Okay.
the town planner's gonna come as well.
Okay.
So we'll be able to try to get more of a grasp on this.
Good.
We did meet with the open space, some of the committee members and the GIS person for the town, and trying to get the trails actually mapped is one of the things that open space would really like to have done.
Yep,
The other thing they've tasked me kind of with is to get West Meadows, which is fish and game property, and come up with some type of a agreement like we have on the Cochise Trail down off of Scotland Street,
Yep.
where we have a joint agreement to have a trail go through their property. And
right,
if we can come up with one similar for West Meadow and figure out a loop or a parcel trail.
Mm.
I did, a couple weekends ago, walk the old Spring Street Road,
did you?
and it's walkable, it's passable. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a little wet in spots, so you have to go off to the edges.
Right, right,
But you can actually see the old road bed and how they built it.
really?
I mean, and it's basically rocks placed in, one rock next to another, all the way down
Is
the
that
road.
behind the cemetery?
No, this is
Spring Street,
off of Spring Street at the very
where I
end.
used to live.
That
Go
towards
down
the
and it
highway?
leads- It heads towards the highway, sure.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and eventually.
That end, yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
way down.
And it ends kind of actually right at Pearl Road,
okay,
new subdivision that's up there.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And Spring Street actually goes up behind the houses along Pearl Road. There's a lot of blowdowns on that end of the street, so you can't finish the walk,
yeah,
but you can get about 1.25 miles up and then back, so it's,
And then there's that loop that kind of goes way in on the far side of the
I didn't
pond.
have hip waders and high boots with me the day I did it.
Once you cross over the little river there, the bridge, and then there's two other paths and or trails that go in off Stony Road. One is, and I think on the Gowles property,
Yep,
and then another one's a little further down, right in the wooded area there. They pull trucks in, and I think
yep,
go
and
in there to
those,
hunt.
you definitely need high boots to clear through, so we're trying to figure out, once we have an idea, and we can go to Fish and Game and say, look, we'd like to set up some
Yeah.
type of a trail system, and if we have to put a couple bog bridges or something in there, getting
Mhm.
permits from them to do that.
Yeah.
A loop would be nice, because we really don't have a trail loop anywhere in town. You have to just walk out to like the rail trail.
Right, the rail
Dead
trail.
end, then you get all the way back again. So everybody keeps asking, is there a loop, is there a loop? And
I had a quick question on the new warehouse behind the mobile station. Was that the project where they were going to donate some
Mhm.
trailage for us out
Yes.
through there too?
Yes,
And they're going to do the trails.
yes. And there are actually sidewalks involved with that and a bunch of other stuff that's part of that project.
But they're gonna do it and,
Yeah, well, was it trails or was it just donation of land back to us?
well,
There was some land in the back,
they,
and it's up to figure out what the trail system would be.
Yeah.
yeah,
How that all,
I thought they were actually gonna do the trails, but,
You're probably correct.
yeah. All right,
yes,
you guys
I
have
have-
questions? Yeah.
Yeah.
yep,
Yes, I do. Tim, first of all, I want to thank you for that awesome presentation you sent to us. Because when I read all the stuff by myself, it was entirely impossible to put it all together. That was the first document you sent. What you did, putting the Excel sheet together, and this one I can understand, and I'm getting a better picture of what's happening in our town and who's responsible for what some of the plans might be. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Did you hear me?
yes,
Yep.
yep, that's kind of why I wanted to get that out there, because if you try to read the whole open space plan as a document,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
I read
180
it.
pages.
I read it. It was 188 pages of like, what? Anyway, so so thank you for what you did. I'm sure it took many hours to do that. I really appreciate it. When you talk about open space, my concern is open space committee. Is that what you're talking about? Is working on this?
Right,
Because yes.
They're-
and
they're
okay.
charged with
All right.
the open space plan and putting the plan
Okay,
together.
well, my concern is in terms of our land and preservation of our land and restoration and conservation of our land is more than on the open space committee. I don't want to just get talking about trails. I mean, that's part of it. But I'm concerned with our agricultural land, which I saw some of that on the what you sent.
Yep,
You
yep,
know, how different areas involved. I'm also really concerned about just our wetlands, our swamp, our river, and there wasn't much like we could do anything with that. I'm also concerned with our water supply in town. What in our water department? What's that got to do with us and conservation?
right, so.
Where is that in the open space plan?
If you look towards, I think, as you decipher through that long Excel spreadsheet document, towards the bottom, there's more in that part deals with the conservation of wetlands and water quality. There's also some of the responsibility tabs that if you go over to it, they have climate resiliency is added in. They didn't have the
Right.
Ag Committee involved, so I added that as a list of somebody
Right.
to look at. So any of these other spots that come in, and that's why they've never had, like, the water department never before was involved in the open space plan. So they call it the open space plan, but it's more of a town-wide, long-range, what you want to do with your land use plan. But they catch all as open space is how they label it. But
Right.
there's all kinds of,
But what I've noticed in a lot of those, at the end in particular, is that nobody's in charge of it.
right, and so that's the part that the open space is starting to tackle next, of who's going to be assigned the tasks to oversee or watch or look out for projects or parcels or that part of the plan. The reason they're blank yet is just nobody stepped up to the plate or nobody's been assigned them yet. And so,
Okay, well, I think that's a critical part for us to think about from the conservation perspective, is that we need to be in on that, just not the open space plan.
Right,
Just
right,
the
and
open
that's-
space committee.
if you look at a lot of them that we were already filled in under conservation, there's us, and then there's sometimes the planning board, sometimes it's the select board, sometimes it's open space. But
Right.
a lot of times, we're the ones that are the front line that have the first crack to try to remember about them, and that's a part of the problem is there's so many of them that we've got to kind of keep every so often looking at that just to remember what we actually need to.
Right.
To
right.
look
And
at.
violations, I believe, violations, I mean, we're dependent on the community for the most part
Right.
to let us know, otherwise you don't know.
And it's
Well,
like,
I'm particularly thinking of, like acquisition of land. And there are certain parcels that we can look at in terms of acquisition. I notice agriculture is also, you put on that on the, who might be responsible, Tim. But that's a big one for us, I think, in terms of acquisition.
right, it's, and part of it,
So,
and you can see on it, they put in some red and some purple colors. Those are the newly
right,
added sections. And
yeah,
again, this isn't a final plan, so it's a working plan. Anything that we may have as an input. And they tried to list parcels that they want to prioritize, or areas, or uses.
right.
So anything that we see as we look at this document, make your notes, send me an email, give me a call, and I can keep up with it. I think their intent is eventually to have a file share place where conservation, open space, planning, where all the boards can get together and put their 2 cents onto the document and say, we'll take this, we'll take
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and start.
I think what Carol's driving at is that we need to purchase more land, but there are certain steps I mean, there's things we can do and things we can't do. And then you gotta get the money to do it, so.
Oh, exactly. I understand all that, but, you know, if we have our eyes on prized land that we really want to preserve, keep the land resilient for whatever reason, conserve the land for, you know, whatever reason. I would like us to really take a look at those prized pieces that we consider essential to acquire for conservation. I mean, we're a really rich. Are you still there?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, I'm not really smart about all this, but we are rich in wetland resources, and in terms of, you know, keeping our climate, and we need to preserve our wetlands. And, you know, I just want to make sure we're doing that.
Hopefully that's what we're doing.
I know, well, we
Yeah.
have to do that, but only, like, when we have, like, when builders build stuff, and we're great with stormwaters, I think we do, you know, what we can, and with the parcel lands that come before us. But, like, well, just the waters in my backyard, right? Like, what are we doing for cleaning up our waters, our town river?
And part of that's with this MS4 program where we have the stormwater bylaw, is all of these storm drains now have to be checked, cleaned, and monitored. And it's also looking any of the houses that may have sump pumps and that type of drainage along there. A lot of those have already been addressed, that used to pour right into the town river. They'd have a laundry line
Yeah.
go out.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
a lot of those have been checked. But again, it's monitoring it, knowing where they are, and getting people.
We have
into
other
compliance.
towns that are involved too, right upriver
Right,
from us,
upstream. And
upstream, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's, I don't, see, you all have been here for a while, I'm still got a learning curve.
Yeah.
And so, these are just the things that I see that I wonder about.
right, and
Particularly, what's our relationship with the water department and how we can help to have clean,
That's a whole,
groundwater?
yeah.
that's a work in progress. I will say that a lot of the permitting that happens, we have water overlay districts for our wellheads. And there are certain uses allowed in those districts and not. And sometimes they have to go before the zoning board or the planning board for a special permit to do certain things. Like a lot of auto repair type businesses, paint businesses, can't be in a water resource district.
Right.
You can't have a chemical company in those. Gas stations aren't allowed, fueling depots. So a lot of that oversight happens along the way, but in the same sense, there's other things that, I mean, one of the things we're supposed to look at is the fertilizing of lawns and golf courses and all of that, and the phosphorus that they're putting and the nitrogen into the system.
Right.
Right.
And so those are things that, yes, as this open space plan moves forward, we're gonna have to look at those more often and just be aware of them, that,
Sure.
especially when new construction or rehab construction happens, that they've got to treat post-construction phosphorus runoff more than they ever did before.
Well, and what I learned at the last meeting, conservation thing that I went to learn about stuff, they do not include testing for PFAS.
Right, that's,
And that's one of the issues that our town is dealing with,
Yeah,
correct?
well, that's water
Right,
primarily, yeah.
it's tested on the water producer's side, but not on the DEP wetland side, because they haven't regulated that yet. I mean, I'm gonna assume that probably that's coming down the pike, that it's gonna be one of those that they'll have to start monitoring more.
Sure.
Um,
And you notice too, Carol, when developments are going in, how carefully we watch the runoff into the wetlands, and I think we run a, pretty tight ship on that, so.
Oh, I love what we're doing.
You do what you can do, and.
I know, but I'm not like that. I want to always do more.
Right, well, I mean, a lot of times we are reactive, not proactive,
Yeah,
because of what we end up doing here.
yeah.
And so,
Yeah, I like to be proactive. If
and-
we can, whenever we can. But the trouble is, I'm not sure what to be proactive about. That's my problem. I just kind of think, oh, that's not right. Why aren't we doing something about it? That's what happens to me.
Yeah.
So I'm on a learning curve, so I'll always be asking questions.
Yeah. Well, I heard the other night at the FinCom meeting when we had the water department, and they've lost 2 people and they can't even get replacements.
Yeah, they've been trying to
So
hire a
they're
technician.
incredibly stressed out over there to even just keep the water department running.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah, well. Okay, so
All right.
I just thank you again, Tim. I think you're doing an awesome job with this, and I really appreciate it.
Okay, and the only other item I have for other business, other than a couple things to sign, the MAC annual meeting is a 10-day virtual event, which
Oh.
there are funds if people wish to attend. It looks like the way the setup is, there are seminars going on pretty much from 8 in the morning until 8 or 9 some nights. So
It's all virtual?
it's all virtual. You can pick or choose what you want to see. Kind of, you can either a la carte just individual things, or you can order the whole package.
If we get the whole package, we get it anyway though, right? Or do
Well,
we?
it's, I think, $150 for the whole package, and you can basically sit there for all day long.
For
behind the
everyone?
screen. No, each individual, I believe, is how it's set up. I've got to do some looking into it.
When is it again?
It's the MACC, the MAC
No, I know. when.
annual, it's their annual, it used to be the one Saturday
Worcester.
event in March.
Yeah,
And now they've broken it out to run for almost like it's almost like an 8 or 9 day
wow.
event.
So they're not having the meeting anymore
And
over
the
there?
meeting's gonna be virtual this year. It's
Interesting.
not gonna be, which
Yeah.
that you can attend just to attend.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the, any of the training classes.
Yeah, I'd be
Need to
interested in seeing them for sure. Seeing
I-
what they offer.
I'll send out the email link, because I just got another one today.
All right.
And you guys can all take a look at it,
Sure.
and if it's something you wanna do, we've got plenty of time, even before the next meeting, to sign up for it and register for them.
Okay, so it'd be 150,
150 each, I believe,
whether
unless
you
there's a
watch
package
one
deal.
or
and-
20 of them, or, yeah.
Right, and you can take as many of the classes and courses as you want to sit in on
Hmm, interesting.
and go that route.
Might be worth it.
So,
All right.
Tim, what do you want to do about the Tuesday night ones that when we have a meeting?
well, there is also a dilemma that the March 7th meeting, there is one of their courses that night. Right now, I'm going to play it by ear and see on the agenda. I have one MAC class left to take to get my
To
certification.
get you certified.
It's offered that.
I don't
night.
even know it. I've got to call them and find out.
I actually have the sheet,
Do you?
the sheet of
See how
the
many
charter
are-
classes.
Yeah.
And so this last class is that night, so.
Oh,
if-
it is.
If we
Okay.
don't have a heavy meeting, or there's no need for a meeting, we may either cancel that and I'll take the class, or
Good.
I may
Yeah.
have you guys
You want to
wing it
finish
or
up?
be a quick meeting. We'll see how it plays out.
All right.
But it's,
I want to make a recommendation to the rest on our board that we require Tim to take that class so that he can complete it. And that we do something about our agenda that night so that he can do that.
it's a 6:30 to 8:30 class, so
Let us know.
if I had to wear two hats for half an hour like tonight, I could figure that out.
All right.
So
Yeah.
we'll keep that on the plan, and it's on my goals to get that complete.
Okay. Yeah, let us
I'll
know.
keep you to that, Tim.
Yep. Yeah, definitely get that done too.
Couple invoices.
I have nothing else, and
No.
I've got a couple invoices for you guys to sign.
Okay. All
Great.
right. Sign away.
Meant to bring
This
the pen.
is
We'll share.
the United Drive for the order of conditions. The last meeting, we closed 102 West Center Street.
Yep.
That's that one.
Yeah. I
That's
skipped
okay.
again. Like, oh, get a pen. I left.
And I have two invoices. One's
Okay.
for mileage and one's for the job ad.
You gonna get enough signatures here?
What I was gonna ask is if, Steve, if you're around in the next day or two, could stop in at Town Hall to put your signature on a couple documents, or I could meet you outside to sign?
Kind of hard. I'm still not getting around very well.
Okay, okay. I'll catch up with Lee. He's around. He
Okay.
can stop by tomorrow night, maybe after work. And while they're doing this signing, I just wanted to let everybody know that we received a letter from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the Historical Commission, stating that they have received the application for Skim Milk Bridge in the Causeway Historic District in West Bridgewater, and they are reviewing all the documents prepared to move forward by putting Skim Milk Bridge in the National Historic Registry. So that process is moving forward rather quickly, so hopefully before long that'll be done.
That's good.
Joan's been working on that for quite a while.
Yes.
Okay, you guys have anything else you want to add tonight?
Just one thing, Tim. The document that you sent today about all this Excel and stuff, I didn't get it. I didn't get it until Jason commented to you. I didn't get it on the first delivery, I don't think.
Huh.
The
All right.
Excel spreadsheet?
Yeah. You should have gotten it.
I
might-
know.
You might. Did you scroll all the way down to the bottom?
I got it when you
Right.
commented, Tim. Right, and that the document was there.
But when it came through first, it wasn't at the very bottom of your email?
No,
Hmm.
I didn't even get that first email.
I only got one, I think.
Right. Well,
And it was at
He-
the bottom, yeah.
right. He sent one, and then I responded to everybody, so it would have
Right.
gone around twice.
And then I got it when he responded.
That's weird. But I would swear that on the original you had everybody,
Yeah.
because
I
if
know
they
I was.
right.
It looked like I was, but I didn't get it until you responded, Jason. So I'm just saying that.
So you, Carol, you did not receive Tim's first email.
No, I
Did-
didn't get it until you made
Okay.
a comment.
Did you? So did you search for it? If you in the
Trash.
search bar for your email, just type in Tim Hay, and see what comes up. Because it might have for some reason been sorted to your trash or something, or spam.
If it was Tim, I didn't mean it.
That's
not-
okay.
yeah, it's not
What
your
I may
fault.
try to do also is to send it individually and as a group, just to see
Yeah.
if there's something that is weird happening.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know how to do that right now. That's all right. I was just saying that. I'll keep my eye open.
Okay,
So
if we don't have any other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make that motion.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay.
All right, stay safe, everybody.
Okay, Ben.
You too.